Welcome in everyone to Marvel Rivals Collegiate, brought to you by the NECC. I am Vodible, and joining me is the one and only Shibby, and we are here to bring you the action for two series tonight, both Division 3, and it's going to be a great one here, Shibby. We got Stevenson versus Boston University, and then we have Grizz Maroon versus GCU Purple. It's going to be a fun time.
Yeah, a couple teams we've seen last semester, a couple players that are very, very high rank here. Some of these Div 3 teams potentially could be Div 2 or even Div 1, but I'm excited. A lot of good teams, a lot of good games. Hopefully, maybe we probably get like a 5-game series on both of these. I know our curse. Last week I determined with CB that it's a week-to-week thing. It's not actually me or you. So
together our powers combined.
Yes, exactly. Because we did not get a single 5-game series last week when I was with CB, and I fully expect 10 games today.
It's going to be a fun time, too. I mean, as you mentioned, decently high-ranked players on at the side of Stevenson University, which, again, we talked about. We've casted them before last semester. You got AK, who's Celestial 2, Vanguard on their side. Their fun fact is that they post their best clips on TikTok at awoken_Yoda, so follow them. Free plug for you. Snipes also on that team too, who is on the duelist but can kind of flex any role. Celestial 3 peak. They like to cook, and their favorite thing to cook is steak. So, you know, pretty rare that we see someone who likes to cook steak on that one. I'm sorry, Shibby.
I'm just disappointed. You couldn't help it. I knew it.
I know. I'm sorry. The dad joke's coming through. I'm getting to 30 this year, so I got to get them out of me at some point.
Twins,
on status. But Sizzy also on their side is a strategist, peak Celestial 3, and apparently they can speak 5 languages. I wonder what those languages are. Either way, that's more than I can even imagine trying to learn, so kudos to you, Sizzy. MP3 player, she is Celestial 3 strategist and power lifts regularly. That's how you know you got a good strategist, if they can power lift you.
True.
Show on the Vanguard side still hasn't solved a Rubik's Cube. I don't know if I believe that, but we'll see. Is a Vanguard for their team. And then Kitty Swag plays Duelist as well. One above all on console, and now Celestial 3 on a PC. And they play 2 instruments. We need to know what those instruments are. Please, if you are in the chat, let us know. Didn't get any info, unfortunately, for Boston University. So we just know that they're players and they enjoy Marvel Rivals, and that's what we'll tell you about them.
It's all that really matters, right?
Exactly.
When you're competing in collegiate Marvel Rivals, as we get the rosters here for Boston University Red: Fakule, Almain, Squink Bands, Dr. Daly. I'm not going to say that one. And Jeff Can't Swim.
You could just say scenario. Oh, in area. Yeah, I guess you could say in area.
Yeah. So usually I give out an award. Best name. That is the best name. I just can't say it. I'm sorry, guys. I can't say it. Come on, guys.
Contractually obligated to not say that name.
Yeah. I'm not. Yeah, I don't think I can say it. But it is the best one here by far. Right. So you win that award, Mr. Area.
Or
that's
Mrs.
what we'll call him.
Don't know.
Yeah, Area. Mr. or Mrs. Area. Other than that, though, Vodible, what do you anticipate between these two teams in terms of like meta and stuff like that? I know me and you just got recently done casting
bands.
a pretty bag. Yeah, it is MRC bands. We just got done casting a big tournament. A lot of interesting stuff there. Saw some Van Pool that you mentioned earlier.
That's true. Yeah, I'd like to see a lot of Vanguard pool. We've been seeing them specifically using the ban hammer so you can target a hero that way. Also, not too surprised to see Symbiotic Surface banned out here. So I don't want to play that at all. I get it. I mean, a lot of people don't like playing Symbiotic Surface. I don't know if it is Symbiotic Surface that they're banning out, or is it Celestial Husk that they're banning on that one?
It's probably Celestial Husk. Yeah, it's probably Celestial Husk because you have to start with the domination map. So
I believe so.
Yeah, it's not. I don't think it's Symbiotic Surface. Anyways,
we'll figure out.
It's Celestial Husk.
One of the Clintar maps.
Yeah, one of the many. I'm interested. I don't think it's this week, right? It's next week we get Museum of Contemplation. I believe it's a 2-week competitive cooldown. Right. I don't think we get Museum of Contemplation this week, unfortunately. I would have loved to see some teams go on that. We saw it in that tournament earlier, where some teams were able to get the upper edge in that map because of how
Always
new it
some
is,
sort
how
of full
different it is.
hold before like the third capture. We never saw it go to OT the entire
No.
time. So I'd be very
No.
surprised if when we do get that map in the rotation, if we do see something of that sort. Also means we're going to have a bit of a delay on Elsa Bloodstone, who comes out this Friday, but no delays on the patches, which means Adam Warlock's going to have his flight next week. It's going to be great. We'll probably see some triple strategist compositions using that specifically on that end. But we're going to Krakoa.
Ooh.
Old Faithful. I mean, speaking of the tournament that we saw this past weekend, Shibby, I mean, we saw so many teams just kind of had a one-sided affair on Krakoa where they take the first capture point and then they go to the bank with the second one pretty easily. So, okay, cool. Thank you, chat. Kitty Swag apparently plays guitar and euphonium. I don't know what a euphonium is, but I'm going to use good old trusty Google for that one.
Oh, yeah. It looks like
in between a trombone and a tuba according to production. That's cool.
Brass. Fun fact, Vodible, I was also a musician. I am a percussionist.
What happened?
Was a percussionist. You know,
Getting old.
like you said, yeah, I'm nearing 30 this year. I don't think the people with me would appreciate me having a full-fledged drum kit in my house. Yeah, so
yeah.
I have seen the electronic ones though; those are kind of cool. But yeah, I used to do.
They sound
all
like
that
so much noise too, because like.
Oh yeah, you're just banging on plastic with the drumstick. So yeah, I don't know. It was fun. I did it a lot when I was in high school.
Annoying.
Yeah, yeah, maybe because then you can't even the people can't even hear what you're doing. But I want to go back to Krakoa, like you mentioned, the one-sided affair as we do get into the bans, MRC. So Boston University instantly going to ban the Hella. That means it's going to be banned away for both teams. And I don't think we're going to see anything too crazy. There's the Gambit ban. You kind of have to ban Gambit. The saves, I think, are going to be a lot more personal. I would probably suspect something like Groot. I don't know if Stevenson University. Well, maybe Stevenson is probably watching at least high-level meta.
Okay.
Love the Angela.
Angela's really good on this map because it's so open. You can just kidnap them away into a little corridor and just take them out. Invis also very good on domination. No surprise there, especially with the new patch that's coming out. Invis and Strange is just going to be the de facto duo for Vanguard and Strategist. Mantis is a perfect ban in this current meta because you do not want that damage boost to get your ultimates that much faster. I'm curious if we're going to see a Loki ban in some sense of the term, or if we're not. Rocket Raccoon, okay, that's actually kind of a sneaky one because we've seen a lot of teams, especially Lunex, who are now Sentinels, playing with Rocket Raccoon very well with them and the Adam Warlock. And it's been kind of a decent combination using that and then probably Loki typically with the triple strategist lineup. Okay, I like it. So more of kind of like a flyer, dive in, dive out sort of composition from Stevenson that we're seeing here so far.
Yeah, Angela, Star-Lord. You have the dive plus redive potential, right? I would say Star-Lord's like dive / mid-range, depending on how you want to pilot them, how you want to play them. I like the Invis save. I love the Magneto save specifically. One of the few
actual it's gonna be good one.
One of the few Vanguards. Yeah, one of the few Vanguards that can deal with Star-Lord, and also Angela. You have the self bubble, because the thing with Angela is like, yeah, she's really annoying, but you can hear when she's gonna like try to kidnap you from, but she sounds like a fighter jet. Like there's no way you're not hearing it. Yeah, she's like literally. So she's so loud. Just have to make sure you bubble yourself and you waste that really important cooldown there. No cloak and dagger. That's been the big rise this season, right? Double Terror Cape. We talked about it. It is disgusting.
That's great too. I'm loving these from these teams. A plus. Yeah. They get full marks on this ban and protect phase. They have been paying attention to the game and the meta, which is great. Great to see. But again, it depends on how they perform in the actual match itself, and if they can go forward, get the victory that they need here, or if it's going to be their opponents taking the initiative instead. But either way, I think Stevenson, going for more of that dive style based on what they banned and protected, right? They got rid of the Groot, so they don't have to worry about his Ironwood Wall where he can't get kidnapped. And you have to focus that down a lot too. The Magneto ban's a great counter on to that Star Lord, as we were talking about, and the bubble, as you mentioned, to try and protect yourself or your strategist for those assassin charges from the Angela on that side. And then Gambit, that's just a universal ban that we see happen as well. So let's get into game number 1, map number 1 here for Stevenson University versus Boston University Red. Both these teams currently 1-1 on the season so far. So I believe so. At least let me check my records on that one. Actually, no. Stevenson looking for their first win. Boston University are 1-0.
Wow. Well, Stevenson hopefully can look to get something as we spectate the Loki. Stevenson coming out with the Thor, Angela, and
I like
Venom.
it. I like it.
This is essentially using Thor as like a big duelist, right? A beefy duelist. I like that. And Angela is not really like a true Vanguard, right? Because of the way she plays. She's mostly just kind of looking to annoy the backline. I don't hate it so much, but Boston University have arguably the best 2 duelists to deal with triple Vanguard in the Moon Knight and the Phoenix.
Yeah, no, I like the counter composition that we see from Boston University Red, and the way that we see Stevenson University also positioning themselves for this first team fight. Again, as it typically goes for domination maps, if you get the first team fight win, you typically are the one to take the point. So both these teams trying to see if they can secure the objective. Only one member going down on Boston University, but that was enough to push them off the objective. I wouldn't necessarily call that a team fight win just yet, but the first engagement was definitely won by Stevenson.
Yeah, not a full team fight wipe per se, but it gets them that, first point take like you mentioned in Krakoa. Yeah, a lot of teams can just run away with that percentage, especially with how fast it builds up. But we do see Mr. Dr. Daly building up the Moon Knight. Ultimate Hand of Khonshu can be dropped. Typically you see it, to separate the Vanguards from the strategists here. Nice ult coming out from area there. The invisible boundaries coming in. I think unfortunately, the voice lines aren't active at the moment, but, we have our eyes. We can see what's happening.
Yeah, we'll hopefully get that fixed in between each of the maps themselves. But, yeah, the ults do come through that time. There is the End Song Inferno from Jeff Can't Swim, which is so funny that Jeff Can't Swim is the name of the duelist on their side.
That is... Yeah, because we clearly see him swimming into the ground, too. Maybe they know something we don't. Nice fight win, though, from Boston University. Investing quite a bit, though. Like we said, End Song Inferno plus the Invisible Boundary. Although we do see Dr. Daly hanging on to that Hand of Khonshu. This is the one time where I will say, use that as soon as you get it. Because that ultimate, one of the lowest charge costs in the game, as we do see VC Abyss come out. Unfortunately, unable to secure any eliminations. But the Invisible Boundary from MP3 player, along with the Galactic Legend from Vision, is going to come through. No elims though just yet. Jeff finally picks up MP3, but Kitty trades out Dr. Daly. God of Thunder is going to come in here as well. Big slam onto multiple members of Boston University, and that's going to allow for the point to flip.
Massive point win again for Stevenson University. I think they're ending up a little bit on the better end against Boston University in terms of these team fights. But again, the percentage is pretty close to each other. So we do have that Hand of Khonshu for Dr. Daly. Rocking the rollers. Like to see the console players coming over and competing in these tournaments as well, especially in the collegiate space. It actually is a lot more accessible on that end too.
Yep.
You can play on console at home, you go into facility if they are playing locally or not, and then actually get on the computers that way too. So it's pretty dope to see that be available for different students depending on what they have available at home as well. But right now, Show getting that first elimination onto Dr. Daly. I like the zoning of the Moon Knight ult, but it wasn't as better placed as it could have been to actually take up the entire space of the objective. Did force out the invisible boundaries, though, on the other end. So eventually we are going to get the Heaven's Retribution combination with the End Song Inferno. That's kind of a similar one that you would see to the group Moon Knight. Nowadays, a lot of people have been using that.
Yeah, and despite all that, Boston University are going to flip that point. Stevenson are coming up on God of Thunder, Galactic Legend as well, and like you mentioned, Boston University burned a lot of their ultimates, right? We'll see Main 85% on the Between Both Worlds, but if Vision has been tracking it correctly, he should just pop this Galactic Legend and look to wipe.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing now, using the Galactic Legend. We'll see if any other ultimates come through. Invisible Boundary. Actually, the slow people down from the other side does get kind of countered out, though, as we see from the Luna Snow getting a dance party going, at least for a moment in time. God of Thunder, though, from Kitty Swag. They're going to get at least one acclamation, also getting another with the Dark Magic Burst. And they're actually going to ham right now. And Doctor Strange getting a bit of a buff in this next patch notes with the Invisible Woman team up. So perfect time to learn them a little bit more.
Isn't it crazy that his Maelstrom of Madness will now give him and his allies bonus help?
Extra health based on the damage
off
they
of
do,
the charge? Yeah, and it pulls them in.
It's nuts.
I love that. Really good round from Stevenson there, but that triple Vanguard composition, we've seen it here and there. I haven't really seen it. That's like a yeah, we lost kind of composition right there.
I think
where
a
they
lot
run
of
like
teams have been liking it a lot more, especially with Angela and Thor. I think Thor, a lot of people tend to categorize more as a duelist these days than a typical strat or a typical Vanguard that you would see out there. So like you can get in their faces, you can do some message damage, you can kidnap them towards your back line. You have the extra spear toss as you would typically have as well with the Angela. So that's might be why they're going with the triple Vanguard halfway for that too. But also they might just have people who prefer to play Vanguard on the rosters. Collegiate, right? Some of these teams come together, not necessarily because they were recruited. They come together because they go to the same college or university. So that could be the case for this team too. Update on who these teams played before, by the way. Stevenson went 3-1 against U Albany Purple. U Albany Purple was the one who came out on top there. And Boston University 3-0'd University of Ottawa in their first series as well. So those were the matchups that happened before this one.
Yeah, Kitty Swag here opening up with that Rune Force. I kind of been liking the way Thors have been evolving so far. I don't know if I necessarily agree with Dr. Daly swapping over to their own triple Vanguard composition. I feel like Moon Knight was the answer. They were just too apprehensive. I think Boston University in general were too apprehensive on their ultimate usage and looking for the perfect moment rather than just dropping it and trying to figure out who to focus down here. Both the Invisible Boundary comes out from Boston University as well as Sizzy with the copy. But with that being said, Galactic Legend is available. And unfortunately, there are no strategy ultimates on the side of Boston University. But can Vision actually track these ults? I want him to just burn it here.
Yeah, I'm really curious if they are going to use the Galactic Legend or not. The lamps are out already, too, from the Loki. So we will see the clobbering time come through from Dr. Daly. That does stun out Vision, but he's actually perfectly hidden behind the barrier there, so they aren't going to be focused as much. Show taking a lot of damage, though, and this does give some more space for Dr. Daly to move up. I'm liking this positioning and the early percentage that's being taken by Boston University, but they do drop one down. Heaven's Retribution goes through for Show. See if they can get the combination with the God of Thunder too, but no real picks coming from it. Instead, there's a good counter from Boston University. Great heals from the Strategist lineup.
Yeah, I love that. Vision as well, still trying to come back in. Squink takes down Kitty. I do like this Emma pick into the Thor and the Angela. I mean, pretty much all of these Vanguards on Stevenson's side are liable to just get grabbed. And then once you get grabbed, Dr. Daly can then throw the purple onto you, right? He makes you take 20% more damage, and then there's just a lot coming through. So I was a little bit skeptical of Boston University and running this triple Vanguard composition, trying to copy Stevenson, but so far, they've been doing a really good job. Well, Stevenson have now swapped over, did swap over not too long ago, to that double Vanguard, double duelist composition with Phoenix and Star-Lord.
I like the change-ups for Stevenson University on this one. I think that's what they needed to do, but the problem is that they're getting sectioned off so far away from the objective, and they haven't really found themselves a way back onto the point. Ensong Inferno does get destroyed before it can even do any damage, but already one member going down on Stevenson. Agamotto doesn't even get the Phoenix somehow. They just completely missed the timing on it. Unfortunately, it was a bit too high away from them, trying to see if they can use the shield to protect their backline from the Meteor M, and they do just that. Invisible Boundary comes out from Sizzy and from the area member of Boston University. Sonic Seduction did a little bit, but unfortunately not enough for them to get the eliminations that they wanted. So Stevenson University, they've just been having a tough time to even get onto the objective and have not been having enough damage because of that triple Vanguard that they started with. Even after swapping off, they need some eliminations here to at least clear the objective. Finally, Kitty Swag does get one, but the trades aren't really enough just yet.
Kitty is landing some shots here. Needs to hit a couple more before they can decisively win the point right now. Nice focus coming out from Boston University, though. They're really pressuring Kitty to hit these shots under duress. Vanguards are going down. Vision needs to keep this Invisible Woman down so that they can at least win the point here for Stevenson. Hard fought, but Boston University so far, 99%. And Stevenson, Vodible, you know what I like to say. They got to play perfect Marvel Rivals from here on out.
That they do. I mean, we saw that they had it in them in the first objective, but I think that was because the combination that we saw from the Angela and Thor, just able to take people off the objective and then use that with maybe the Galactic Legend happening at certain moments. But I like this composition from Boston University. There really hasn't been too much of an answer once they had that full hold strategy. So I like the playing up a little bit, not pushing too far. Vision almost has their ultimate online because it doesn't really take too much time. Mind you, that's getting buffed into this new patch coming forward that they can get it even faster. Wild. But either way, NECC Inferno at least pushed them off the objective for now. I feel like it would have been better for Kitty Swag to use that in combination with another ultimate, just so that they can confirm some eliminations. And no, the freeze onto the Doctor Strange. They weren't protected at all, so the Eye of Agamotto does nothing.
Silver lining, to be honest, because they still win the fight anyways, and
True.
Acclamation gets to build up towards his Eye of Agamotto. When you get frozen or stopped like that, it actually only drops you down to 50%, which I think is nice. Not super punishing, but still worth for Stevenson here in a weird twist of events. As Jeff, though, NECC Inferno available along with Dr. Dale. A lot of ults have been stacked for Boston University Red, so Stevenson has to make do with what they have at the moment.
Oh, double NECC Inferno. Great to see. Fate of Both Worlds, though, is making it so nothing's really happening from that on their end. Instead, Boston University timed it theirs perfectly. MP3 player needed to use their invisible boundary during that fight to keep them alive, but unfortunately, they waited a little too long. Sizzy used theirs, but they immediately got eliminated, so they couldn't even do anything about it. So a tough spot to find themselves in, and kind of shows the difference between the Luna Snow Ultimate and Invisible Boundary when it comes to the massive amounts of damage that were available to their opponents. But look how many ults are available for this third point. This first team fight is going to be a spectacle of ultimates.
Yeah, it's going to be a smorgasbord of ults, right? And I think, unfortunately for an MP3 player, they ended up going down first in that last team fight, holding on to that invisible boundary, potentially because they wanted to use it, obviously, to counter something like NECC Inferno, or maybe the Sonic Seduction, or maybe match main. But yeah, Luna Phoenix, because the Luna can damage boost the NECC Inferno, it actually just eliminates through all the support ultimates. So it's tough.
It might be tough, but someone has to put up as best they can of a performance into this next objective to prove that they are the better squad. Stevenson again looking for their first win here in the spring semester. Boston University want to go on a hot streak again. They didn't drop a single map last time. 3-0 performance. Stevenson at least got one, but they need more than that if they want to make the playoffs later on. Championships on the line, too, for the future, as there is that NECC Nationals that was announced recently.
Yeah, that's going to be super fun for any of these players to compete at that LAN event. Dr. Daly swapping back over to the Moon Knight. Here comes the Galactic Legend. On top of that, we'll see the Sonic Seduction look to counter it with the Invisible Boundary, but I feel like Vision has already gotten what he needs. 2 members have gone down for Boston University by the time those ults came through. Just a massive waste.
Oh, man. It's rough for Boston University because, like, they had such an upper hand on that last team fight to start off the second checkpoint.
Yes.
And then it just seemed like everything fizzled out. Maybe just the usages of their ultimates didn't work out as well as they were hoping it to. I think that's more what it was than anything else. And Stevenson threw the kitchen sink at them, and they could not counter it, unfortunately, in time. So better timing of the ultimates from Stevenson at this go-around. Gets them the early percentage that they were lacking last time. And as I mentioned before at the start of this, and you'll typically hear us like a broken record every domination map, whoever gets the first capture in a team fight typically ends up winning that round. So it looks good for Stevenson, but, well, actually, it's going to continue to look good for Stevenson.
Looks really good. Great, some would say. Even here is Vision. I kind of just saw this guy not do a lot last round, and he's coming alive here in round 3. Really well played from Vision, confirming some of those eliminations. Dr. Daly on that Moon Knight has the Hand of Khonshu available, but no real ultimates to combo with. I am looking at Boston University to combo the Ensong Inferno with the Meteor M here. Jeff Can't Swim, and Fakule specifically need to be on point. Can do a lot of damage, can actually burst through Invisible Boundary, or the copied Loki ult, whatever that may be.
Really want to see when this Meteor M potentially comes out from Ack. Waiting for them to just hold on to that till some sort of other ultimate play comes through. Maybe they'll see if they can combo it onto the Luna Snell. Yeah, the Meteor M is coming out this time, trying to see if they can time it perfectly, but completely missed to whiff the dunk. So instead, Invisible Boundary comes through from both ends. Galactic Legend available to Vision, but they're going to have to wait for the boundaries to go. And here it comes out. Sonic Seduction to try and counter it out. And that's what we typically see it used for whenever there is a Star-Lord on the other side, but so many eliminations coming through. Unfortunately for the Emma, they could not stay alive for their Sonic Seduction to get any value.
And the moon haunts Boston University Red, and Stevenson end up taking map 1 with a 2-1 victory. Boston University's ultimate usage on that last fight, that last round, quite honestly, was very desynced. 2 members would go down, then we'd see the Luna ultimate, or 2 members would go down, and then we see the Invisible Boundary. Honestly, the strategists have to be a little bit more decisive on when they're going to ult and use that to their advantage. Very well played from Stevenson, though, to bait them out, or at least wait them out until they can get their ults through. Vision had a really good round 3. I think Kitty Swag, whether he was on the Thor or the Phoenix or even the Moon Knight here with the MVP, did very well. 17 finals to the name, the DPS or duelist duo for Stevenson University, Vision and Kitty, racking up 30 total finals. I think that's almost as much as the whole enemy team combined.
It's a lot, to say the least. So a great look so far from the side of Stevenson. Hard fought, though. I mean, that second checkpoint gave me some worries for them. I was like, oh, maybe it's just, one good team fight is all it was going to take. And then, unfortunately, they just couldn't really get things going together. The competition wasn't working out as well as they wanted it to towards the end of that. So it's a tough spot to find themselves in. But good for them that they were able to turn it around in at the end to find the composition that worked out and realized Moon Knight's actually really good. So that's what we saw happen pretty well for them. Unfortunately for Boston University, even going into that triple Vanguard at the end just wasn't enough. And I think the big thing was for them that they could not even get some of those eliminations themselves. So great positioning that we saw from Stevenson. I think they benefit to the more open maps based on the compositions that they try to go for. So that could be what they go for if they do lose this next map, depending on what is chosen by Boston University. Ball is in their court, depending on what they want to play and what we see potentially banned out here as well. But Central Park is where we're going to now for Convergence. Love to see it. So we'll probably have a convoy map for the next map after that. So, I mean, Central Park, there's a couple different strategies you can go for. I'm curious if we see kind of that triple style, depending on if it is Stevenson playing the defensive end. That's been very popular recently. We haven't seen Penny used at all because of no Rocket Raccoon, right? Having that team up anymore. But people sometimes still like to pull her out on Central Park just for the first point. So you have some usage if they're like a Penny fan on that end. But Moon Knight also pretty good too, just to break those holds. So wouldn't be too surprised if we saw that again from Boston University. I mean, there's a couple different options that they can go for, but this is going to be a fun ride. Central Park's always a good time.
Yeah, I mean, we could also see that triple strat composition with like Loki and Adam on defense.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. I don't want to give them ideas here, Shibby.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, hearing Born Again 3 times in a row could cause me to just leave.
What do we think is going to be the ban and protects, though? That's the big thing. Like, again, this being MRC, it's a little different than the Ignite style that we saw this past weekend. So it's universal. If you ban something, it's banned for everyone. Save something, saved for everyone on that side, too. So definitely not seeing Gambit unless for some reason either of them just play chicken with each other, right? And let it go through. So MRC, I feel like you're much more likely to see Gambit for that reason if they try to prioritize something else first.
Yeah, it's funny. Because now you're just playing a Gambit war, and it's just what team is better at confirming eliminations. I'll never get over that Thor mug, man. Like every time I see it, I'm like, Jesus.
I just need to comically get a bigger and bigger mug each time, so that I just pull one from off screen and just drink in a jug. Yeah.
Eventually, you'll work your way up to those like NFL big Gatorade bats.
What would be so funny if we were casting that other hero shooter and I had like one of those hamster feeders?
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Like the little water things. Yeah. I saw some streamer have one of those. It was the funniest thing ever. But yeah, back to the game itself. Central Park. I feel like Central Park's also going to be so interesting with the new changes coming up, right? Because Wolverine is going to be insane. The way that they can be used there. Also, Elsa Bloodstone with her ultimate is going to be crazy because she can kite people off the edge, depending on like where on the map they are, especially if it's in kind of going towards not the last staircase, but the first one to like the castle area where you have that open area on the side. You could just kite them off that way.
That wall.
So yeah, there's a couple different spots you can do with it too. So I'm really curious. I wonder if we'll see Angela as well on this one too. I think maybe more towards the mid, but not at the attacking side at the start.
Angela's really good on point 2 and 3 specifically. Yeah. I mean, that last point where you can just take people into
point 1, not so much.
Yeah, point 1's a little bit tougher. You do have that opening, like you mentioned, on that right side, the alternative opening, but typically we'll see like more hardcore dive characters go through there, like things like Daredevil, which we haven't actually seen.
We haven't seen Daredevil, which makes me think neither of these teams play Daredevil. Because if you don't see Daredevil, that's usually what that means, right? Is that no one feels comfortable on that end. So we'll see. But Stevenson University, they will be the ones in charge here after the first ban from Boston University. So it looks like Stevenson are the ones that are going to be defending. And yeah, Boston University are not even going to worry about having it be available. They want to get rid of it immediately, which makes sense because Gambit is very effective on convergence maps, especially this one. Like if you can immediately use it as you're attacking, there's nothing you can do. I think this might be swapped then, actually, now that I think about it. Because last time it was Boston University that banned Hella first, and it was Stevenson who banned. Yeah, this is swapped. You just can tell from the bans and protects on this side. So Invisible Woman will be saved by Boston University. Stevenson will be the ones who are saving the Star-Lord again, banning the Penny. So that makes a lot of sense. They don't even want to have to worry about the entrenchment that you can expect from that. There's the Mantis ban again.
Yeah, there's the Mantis. I just like Penny is so much worse to play. It's like riding in a Bugatti and then you're downgraded to a Toyota Corolla, man. No offense to Corollas, but I'm just saying, like, having 2 nests and then going down to 1 feels so much worse to play. And they didn't really give Penny any compensation buffs other than, like, a little bit more HP, I believe 25 more, which realistically is not that big of a deal. The thing save.
Okay. I mean, we saw Dr. Daly play that a decent amount, so I get it. Yeah. Thing's really good on this map, I'd say. I like Thing on this map.
I mean, I'm a Thing fanatic. I'll pick him whenever, wherever. I don't care. Domination, Convergence, Convoy. I love playing Thing. A lot of people, the community is very split on him. Like, a lot of people feel he's terrible. There's another side of the community, like more, I would say, higher elo people or even the pro level scene. They're like, oh yeah, this guy's busted. Like, he can make you take more damage. He can restrict
his
all
Hulk
your movement.
Team up now is gonna be nuts.
Oh. I am duoing with Zoteg immediately, bro. Like, I told him, like,
brothers, baby.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, I need a Hulk duo. I don't know too many. And he's like, yeah, for sure, bro. Oh, dude, I'm so excited. It's also interesting. We can kind of divulge as we talk about some of these bands here. Cloak, Rocket Still. These are pretty much the exact same picks and bans, other than the only wrench being that Penny. The Payne brothers, all right, Hulk and Thor, I feel like they gave a lot of team-ups to characters that aren't, normally picked together. Like, the only one is Strange and Invis. You'll typically see that backline and frontline very, very frequently. But, like, Rocket and Mr. Fantastic, I've never seen those two, like, heroes paired together.
I think that's purely a ranked team-up because a lot of people love playing Rocket in ranked. So there's those Mr. Fantastic mains that can get something from it, right?
All 10 of them.
Yeah. Oh man, it's neat though because it does level up the skill expression, I would say, for Mr. Fantastic, because 100%. It makes it so that you can choose when you go into your large and in charge form, which is how I like to call it.
Yeah. Big mode. Yeah, large and in charge. It also increases the elasticity, so I'm interested in seeing if that extra increase,
if it makes it last longer, yeah, I think it does.
Yeah, or like gives you more HP. Yeah, I love the skill.
I don't think it gives you more HP. I think it just lasts longer is essentially what it is. So it makes it manual for when you go into that large form and makes it last longer based on like the timing from it. I'm curious what the exact numbers are for it though, because the patch notes unfortunately didn't tell us anything about it. But what we do know about this is that this is a annoying toolless lineup to play against here on Boston University. They're trying to build up their ults as quickly as they can. Already 22% for Jeff Can't Swim is nuts. So Ensong Inferno, they're looking to get no group ban actually this time is one thing to note. We did have that last go around, and this is going to be a big change in favor, I would say, of Stevenson University. Groot is really good on this map.
Groot's good on offense and defense, and like you said, it was in favor of the penny ban. That was the only thing that was different. And Jeff, unfortunately, positioning a little too aggressively there.
Oh,
you said
no.
we wouldn't see the Angela. Unfortunately, yeah, they can't. It's really tough to get him into the abyss there, but it obviously is still very detrimental. You know, spearing like 2 people, especially the strategists there, and just keeping them occupied. And then in a really, really quick turn of events, Stevenson University captured this first point in under a minute.
Yeah, no, that's a huge capture from them. No time for a portal, unfortunately. And we haven't really seen
5.5 minutes.
Boston University go for portal plays, mind you, either. Like, they typically just stick with it. So maybe they don't feel as comfortable like having someone swap to Strange. Could be a difference between these two squads. This also, looking at Stevenson University, makes me worry about how good Albany are, right? They're the team who 3-1 the Stevenson University roster. So it's like, man, that must be a team to look out for in their division for Div 3.
Yeah. A lot of these games, though, a lot of these matches can just be determined by who shows up on the day, right? Like, sometimes you can just come in and just be the better team for 3 out of 5 games or 5 out of 5 games or whatever, how long you go. But right now, Stevenson University very much showing that they are the better team on the day right now, as Boston University is getting pushed back. They haven't even actually had a proper 6v6 since the start of this game.
Ouch. That's all I got to say about that one. Ouch. This is a massive windfall in favor of Stevenson University. I mean, they're almost already to that second checkpoint. I think leaving the Groot open and trying to go for the Penny ban was not the way to go. Penny, of course, solid on this map. Groot is just an S tier. One of the best in slot vanguards for a reason. Ooh, I like the counter the Meteor M, though, onto the Strangling Prison, so it doesn't even work at all. So great usage of it to get it out of contention for there. And Slugget Proto, though, coming in from Kitty Swag. Able to at least do some damage, but Invisible Boundary and also the Fate of Both Worlds not going to really make that do anything. We rarely see Luna Snow players nowadays, but I think it's a decent counter into the Phoenix ult.
Yeah, I mean, the bonus health you get, obviously, when you're dancing, and also just the amount of healing that it does. I also like Luna just for the fact you can damage boost. And
damage boost,
there's our first Daredevil. We just said, yeah, we're like, hey, nobody really plays Daredevil, or, you know, they haven't really manned it out. Dr. Daly whipping it out here, but he is kind of solo diving, so it's tough for him to get really any value unless his job is to run interference on this Angela.
It looks like it is.
I'm gonna mark you forever, and you're never gonna get to my back line.
Honestly, a solid way to go about it too, just so that they can focus down the Angela, especially on the second point. Very easy to go for the assassin charge. Kidnaps off the stage. So Dr. Daly trying to get some usage, some mileage. Double Ensong Inferno's coming out here from both ends. Works out better in the favor of Boston University, though. Invisible Boundaries galore. Meteor M drops down. Doesn't get a pick, though. Dr. Daly does have the Devil that they can let out. Sonic Seduction to counter the Galactic Legend, and that's perfect usage of it this time. Last go around where we saw them in domination, they weren't able to get as much mileage from it, but this time, perfect team fights back-to-back from Boston University.
Yeah, really, really, really good ultimate economy from them, as Dr. Daly does have the Devil to be let out on Stevenson University. But because Fakule used that Meteor M last time around, was able to, as I say that, never mind. I was like, it's, like, Shoho had the 96% on the Groot ult and opted in to swap over to that Angela. Kitty is going to be playing Psylocke, and this is practically a full dive composition from Stevenson University.
I like it. I like the change-up. Realize that, you know, the Devil has been unleashed, and it will get unleashed here any moment now. Eventually, the ultimate will come through. Surely something's going to happen. But they're trying to get an elimination first and then use it whenever ultimates maybe come out from Stevenson University. And I'm loving this coverage, this focusing on Show-O. So they can't really do anything for their team. Swap them over to the Thing this time, so maybe that'll be a difference maker for their squad. But there is finally some eliminations against the Boston University duelist lineup, so they aren't as effective as they would like to be. See if they can take down this Emma. I'm liking this flanking that we're seeing from Kitty Swag. Also, interesting kit change up coming up from them for this next patch too, right? The ult is nerfed a little bit, 10 damage per tick, but also they have less damage fall off, which is nice. So a bit more range for Psylocke on that end. The Devil was unleashed, but it was quickly sent back into timeout.
Yeah, I heard him scream for a little bit, and then he instantly went down here. Meteor M from Fukule. Unfortunately, this one whiffs as well, and Kitty Swag picks up the elim on Squink. And yeah, I don't know. The Psylocke changes are weird, right? Because you reduce the damage on the ultimate, right? It doesn't really mess with the breakpoints. Like, it's still going to eliminate through invis and stuff like that. But you transform her a little bit into, like, prioritizing, hey, I'm going to shoot you from 15 meters away because I only have 70% damage fall off, right? It allows her to farm ultimate on tanks, which has typically been the preferred playstyle for a lot of Psylocks, and then into Dance of Butterfly. I don't know. Psylocke is in a really weird spot. I believe she limbos from, like, dive to mid-range. Oh, did he just whiff? Did he fall down? He did. Shoho!
No, man. That's rough. Not exactly where you want to see things go, and exactly why you see Boston University with a clean sweep ace against Stevenson there on that team fight. Completely due to, yeah, the whiff on that one. So we'll probably see a portal potentially come in here from Show on their end just to get them back in the fight. Maybe, oh, no, they're just going straight up. They're not going to use the portal yet. Instead, feeling maybe a bit more confident just with a shield tank style on this one. So see if they stick with that or not. Interesting positioning is all I got to say.
Yeah, MP3 player got assassinated by Dr. Daly. That's what you saw. They're like, wait, what happened? The Ankh came down, and unfortunately Shoho goes down as well here. Yeah, not a big fan of the Doctor Strange pick here, simply because what are you really doing into Thing, you know, and Emma? Like, they're both just gonna grab you or slam you or whatever, right? I don't necessarily love it. Dr. Daly though does have Night ult. Dance of the Butterfly comes in, takes him out. That's a big ult taken away from this battle. 5v6 right now for Boston University Red. A TP's already coming in. Very early investment. What am I watching?
I don't know. I think they canceled the portal. Yeah. Show-O is doing some interesting moves is all I'm going to say about that one. Trying to find some value. Maybe they're going for a cheeky portal play to, like, send someone off the edge. But because they did that, they wasted their portal and won't have it available to them later on. So a rough spot to find themselves in likely means Boston University, if they win this team fight, they are able to get a full hold from it. But Vision trying to get some good damage. Both of the strategist ultimates being popped by Boston University, though. And here is also the Hand of Khonshu from Dr. Daly, so they can't even do anything with it. Good counter, though, from Kitty Swag. Ak and Show-O does get one pick, so at least in OT, they're able to move a little bit further this time. Invisible Woman almost going toe-to-toe with Kitty Swag this time as well. Boss. They're finally going down. You can see why Psylocke is able to do some massive damage. Even if they aren't as favorable of a pick as they used to be, they almost have their ultimate up again. They had it in the last team fight. Now they're only 5% away from it again. And Sung Inferno does drop down this time, though, for Jeff Can't Swim, getting at least an elimination. Here's the Dance of the Butterfly, but not the best timing for it. As I say that, though, they still get free through it. Doesn't matter with the the fate of both worlds from the Luna Snow. They just have their own dance party on the graves of their enemies.
4 back-to-back KOs for Kitty Swag there. 14 finals. That boy is cooking. That's all I'm saying. That dude doing really well right now for Stevenson. Very, very well played. Good lock-in. And this is where we're going to see the group really shine on defense specifically. The Ironwood Wall obviously now giving you, on top of the bonus health and, you know, you allowing to get healed through damage you do and damage your teammates do, also makes you CC immune. You cannot get grabbed. Bucky's not really a good pick anymore. You kind of are forced to play Shield Break, in my opinion. Something like a Punisher, maybe a Squirrel Girl. You can also opt in for the Moon Knight, but I feel like Dr. Daly has been relatively slow on gathering those ultimates. You can see just by the damage he's doing. 7,000 damage is not a lot for Moon Knights.
Hopefully we'll be able to see a little bit more from them specifically. Kitty Swag's really been carrying the torch, I would say, for Stevenson University. I mean, without their ultimates, without their flanking and their swap to the Psylocke, they would not have gotten that third checkpoint. So, good change up for them. We see the triple style, but in a very unorthodox way for Stevenson University.
I don't like this. I don't like this at all. I don't like this.
This is one of the cops of all time.
Very wonky. Maybe if Sizzy goes in for the Jeff ultimate, you can get the soul bond in so you don't immediately get bursted out here. But obviously in map or point 1 specifically, all the points, but specifically point 1, Jeff actually has a really good time, you know, eating people and sending them to the abyss because of how close the fall off point is here. As I say that though, Kitty Swag frying on both the Psylocke and now the Adam Warlock. As long as it's hit scan, I think he'll do fine.
Makes sense. Yeah, doing pretty good for their team, which is great to see. Seeing if they can build up that revival much as possible here. Jeff can't swim. They really need to get some picks, though. Building up that passive against their opponents. Just do some massive burst damage. It's huge. If they can get elimination as well, it'll do some great AoE against their opponents. Moon Knight, Dr. Daly already has their ultimate, but it's going to come down to the timing for it, and their back line and one of their front line getting taken out so quickly just makes it so they can't do anything about it. That's actually good follow-through by Acclamation, just to make sure that they're pushing them the entire distance and not giving them any room to work with.
I love the way Acclamation is playing Thor, right? Just super in your face, understands, has 3 strategists behind them, can play super aggressive. Ooh, unfortunately the clobbering time does land, but immediately goes down, so no follow-up here. Maybe they were looking to combo it with something like the Ensong Inferno that's getting used, or the Moon Knight ult, but yeah, big ult coming in. Unfortunately that for them though, Kitty Swag is going to use the self-res, and it's still a 6v6. Scratch that, 6v4.
Oh no, this might be a full whole story for Stevenson University, especially since they're able to get 2 for the price of 1. One just gets KO'd, the other off the edge, but they get pushed off themselves. It was Dr. Daly who used the Onk to send them flying. That is so funny.
High value Onk. High value Onk there. Unfortunately though, Sizzy should be able to come back before anything really transpires, and I do hear a Punisher, but it might be too little too late. A minute and 45 seconds left on the clock for Boston University. They are going to open up with that Luna Snow ult. Maybe they can drop the Hand of Control on top, like you said, damage boosted. But Dr. Daly, nice dodge. Plus shield. God of Thunder is going to come down right onto Mr. Area's head. Strangling Prison as well. And just for good measure, Kitty Swag is going to pop that Karmic Revival. So all that hard work you did, Boston University, gets erased immediately. I hate to harp on this.
Used this Hand of Conquer the entire time. Like, since they have been on attack, they have not used their ultimates. That is not what you want to see from a Moon Knight, because Moon Knight can get their ult so quickly. I know you want to get the maximum value out of it, but you just want to pop those up and create some space for your team as best you can. Like, you can section them off so that the strategist can't get to the front line or something of that sort. And maybe they're trying to save it for when we saw the revival coming through from Kitty Swag, but even then, wasn't the best strategy for them. So unfortunately, not working in their favor. Still holding on to it for now. Psionic Seduction going to be used this time, and also seeing the Final Judgment. We finally do have that Hand of Conchu used by Dr. Daly, but Jeff the Shark's just going to ult the back line and take out the Invisible Woman all the way to the end.
No, she's going to jump back. Yeah, you can't do that. Yeah, she's going to jump back in.
Take them off. What?
Yeah, you have to take them off. Unless he's just going to go for the 1v1. He's running the hands right now. That's actually really good for Stevenson University. Nice. Nice shotgun usage from Jeff there to take Acclamation bout immediately. Mokule lands a big clobbering time here, and all the meanwhile, Boston University are healed up by the Luna Snow. But Invisible Boundary coming in from MP3 will allow their strategist ultimate to just outlast Boston University. And I mentioned that 1v1 that was happening off screen. that's really good for Stevenson because they still have 2 strategists left.
Oh, they didn't
Boston
even
University
need to use the revival.
Yeah. They don't need to, they didn't really need to use the revival. And unfortunately, Mr. Area comes in a little late with their own invisible boundary because they were busy 1v1ing the Jeff. It's too little too late. Boston University, I don't think are going to be able to get this point. Another clobbering time from Fakule though. Nice haymakers all around, but I just don't think it's enough.
Yeah, some good damage. And the problem, though, for Stevenson University is that they aren't getting these eliminations onto Boston University. They've been holding on to this point the entire time and giving the free reign of it. A triple coming out from Fakule might be able to get even more so. And it's 1v2 situation on the objective, but it gives so much room for the rest of their team to get onto the point. You see Main actually swapping to the Jeff to move towards the objective as well. So finally, they are able to capture it. Because Stevenson University wasted their ultimates.
Stevenson University wasted their ultimates. Also, nobody was paying attention to Fakule. He built 2 ultimates up, practically just haymakering, right-click simulator for Mr. Fakule, and Stevenson got to be hitting themselves in the head here. I think getting a little bit overzealous or confident even, burning their ultimates when they didn't really need to. I think the Karmic Revival specifically was really, really bad.
Yeah, no, they used that in the middle of the fight when there wasn't anyone down, like, at all. So I guess they wanted to use it as extra insurance just to make sure in case they got eliminated. But you have to have faith in your teammates in those moments. And unfortunately, they couldn't build it up again fast enough. And nobody was dealing with Fakule at all. So Fakule had free reign, got the eliminations, targeting the back lines. They couldn't even stay on the objective, and then eventually was able to get that point for free. So a blunder of epic proportions from Stevenson. They're not too worried, though, because still not as much time available for Boston University. But a couple of different options that they need to change up. And maybe the final judgment for Kitty Swag could be the difference maker here.
Yeah, Shoho. Meteor M coming up at about 30%. Fakule had to swap over the mag now. But because he doesn't have Meteor M, I don't really know what's going to happen. I think In Your Area is probably going to pop the invisible boundary for this. Never mind, we're actually going to see the Luna Snow ultimate come in as a response here. Vision looking for an angle with the Galactic Legend, but mind you, watch Jeff also has Final Judgment available. Sizzy's going to respond in kind with their own Between Both Worlds. Inside Abduction put on top with the Galactic Legend. That's a lot used by Stevenson and for a whole lot of nothing.
They got 0 value, unfortunately, again, out of their ultimates, and that seems to be a constant issue for Stevenson University. We saw inklings of that in point 2 on domination for Krakoa, and now it's just exacerbated to the 10th degree on this next team fight. So we see a lot of good ultimates available for Boston University. I know I was saying, you know, Dr. Daly might have been a better option to use their ult sooner, but I'm liking the pacing of the ultimate usage from Boston University. They're timing them properly. The Meteor M was wasted by Shou there. Instead, yes, they did get 1 elimination from it, but it still looks to be in favor of Boston University, especially if they can deal with the back line. Unfortunately, they can't, so we'll have to back off for now. But Dr. Daly, if they could get in time to use the Hand of Khonshu, it might create some space for them.
Yeah, has to drop it on the card here. Squink popping that Between Both Worlds, gonna allow the rest of his team to at least stall while they can. Hand of Khonshu finally comes down. In Your Area has invisible boundary as well. Acclamation goes down. No sign of seduction for them. Sizzy is super low, and with no strategy ultimates for Stevenson, Boston University during both overtimes will get these points. Well played.
I feel like Stevenson need to use the combo of the Meteor M and the Ensung Inferno. That does burst through Luna ult, and we have not seen them use it ever. So I feel like that would be the difference maker here, because this Luna ult has just kept the team of Boston University alive time and time again. If you can use it properly that way, then you can do some great teamwork and basically eliminate their survivability to the 10th degree themselves, because we keep seeing Main using their ultimate to move downwards with, or move forwards, excuse me, with the convoy itself, and there hasn't been any sort of counter from Stevenson. Kraken Impact might be able to do something, though, if they could stay alive with it and get some good re-ups afterwards. Really curious on the combination of these ultimates, though. This might be the time to use it before they get their ultimates.
Legendary in a really awkward spot here, right? And we're also going to burn the Kraken Impact. It will get all the elims they need, but Stevenson burning both duelist ultimates. I feel like you need that for this last fight here, but they're going to rely on the strat ultimates, and Shoho specifically with that Meteor M will be able to do much. Acclamation is swapped over to the Angela. Maybe they're looking for an off-map Abyss takedown here. Dr. Daly, though, Hand of Conchu available, will most likely drop it onto this point to give his team some space.
Ooh, that's huge, actually. So they can use the grapple to take them off the objective. They are using the Meteor M just to counter Kitty Sweat because they saw how effective they were being on the point, which I think is a useful usage of it. Sizzy realizing, hey, actually the Luna Snow ult is really good, so let's use it ourselves to stay on at the point. And you kind of have to go Luna Snow to Luna Snow if you want to counter it as best as possible. The freeze onto the Magneto, though, so they can't even stay alive. That's a tough spot to be in for Stevenson University. A couple ultimates that they can use. Invisible Boundary, notably one of them for both sides. We do see the Heaven's Retribution coming through from Acclamation, but I think that was a bit of a waste, especially with this Final Judgment that can completely burst through. It gets one KO, gets a second, might be able to get a third to clean things up and send us to overtime. We're almost there, but nobody's on the objective. Really, two people remaining on it for Stevenson University, and Vision can't even do much. They're trying to build up their ultimate in time, but they're giving them free reign with the point.
Shoho had Meteor M, is holding on for I don't know what. Could have popped it to keep his team alive. Galactic Legend is available. Psionic Seduction is going to be used to counter in kind. Here comes the Kraken Impact. Jeff does take down Vision, but Kitty gets the reset. Let's see if he can get more. Sizzy takes down Jeff as well. And Boston University are so close, but Kitty is going to reset with the Kraken Impact and dash away any of Boston University's hopes here and take a 2-map lead in this best of 5.
Kitty MVP is all I gotta say. They're the reason that they got to the third checkpoint. They're the reason we didn't see Boston University get there. Yeah, that's exactly why, right? Jesus. They were able to just decimate the ranks of Boston University, and this is exactly why you need a strong duelist lineup, especially in collegiate. 50 eliminations is insane, and as you mentioned, all of the finals coming through from them at the end. They were the difference maker for their team. 48,000 damage is insane.
Yeah, definitely an MVP performance here. 50, 10, and 9, 31 finals. I mean, put the team on his back. Like, there's no, I'm sorry. Yeah. Like, all of Stevenson just got into Kitty's backpack, and they were carried to this victory. I felt like the ultimate usage was a little bit iffy, but the reason it didn't matter is because when Kitty would pop their ultimate, it was bound to get at least massive 1 to 2 finals every single time. So it didn't matter how much they overinvested. It really looked like there for a second, Boston University were going to push us to that overtime. But yeah, the fact that they weren't able to take down Acclamation, who was flying in the sky, contesting the point, despite Shoho not, using the Magneto ultimate, the Meteor M, I mean, just goes to show, like, Boston University, the target selection was always a little bit iffy. I even saw it in the domination maps where some of them were kind of like, looking around, looking on who to burst down here. And that reared its ugly head here in this final point where Acclamation was free to contest for a while.
A tough spot to find themselves in because Boston University were that close both maps in a row from getting the victory. So maybe they can turn things around here again on Convoy. But we are going to head to a quick break. After that, we'll be back with map number 3. Stevenson University currently need just one more map for their first overall set win in NECC Marvel Rivals Collegiate. I'm Vodible. We got Shibby here again, likely going to a Convoy map here for the next one. Shibby, what do you want to see in terms of Convoy?
Well, because we can't get Museum of Contemplation, unfortunately, which is by far one of my favorite maps in the game, even though it's only been out for a little bit. Honestly, I'd be down for some Yggdrasil Path. I think that map is pretty good here, but instead, throw that all out the window because we are getting Spider Islands. A good map with a lot of verticality. Good for Dive, good for Loki, good for Moon Knight as well. I feel like a lot of different, strategies or heroes can work here.
Yeah, especially when it comes to taking people off the map. That's a big thing you can do on this map specifically. So we're probably going to see an Angela ban at this time instead of the Mantis is what I would predict if you are Boston University because of how effective that Angela had been. And it seemed like not necessarily a one trick, you could say, but a favorite from the side of Stevenson University, right? So could easily see that be a focus for them this time around instead of the typical. Because, you know, if they have Mantis, you can play Mantis too, right? Because of how these MRC ban and protects work. But I think they might be swapped again because Boston University has been consistent. Actually, no, it's not then, because the Angela ban has come out. So it was going to be Stevenson this time, banning the Gambit. So no Angela available for Stevenson University. That's a huge change up here.
Yeah, I mean, I think if they leave the Groot open as well, I'm not sure if they're willing to do that. I feel like that petty ban was very ill-advised. They're going to save Mr. Jeff here. Does this indicate that we might see some Deadpool potentially, which we haven't seen yet this series? I wouldn't be surprised if some of these more, you know, younger kind of collegiate players haven't figured out the meta just yet competitively, right? Like they haven't really had the time to pick up Deadpool, who's the newest hero in the game. You know, I'd figure because they're balancing like school and stuff like that, but instead we're banning Hulk.
There's a Kart Lover fan out there, I guess, on Boston University.
Bees.
You guys do your research, is what they said. Okay. They like playing Hulk on this map, it seems. So that might be why the Hulk ban comes through. So yeah, calling them out on it too. Dr. Daly in the chat is hilarious. The Hella bans are consistent though. Even if they didn't get it the first time because it wasn't saved, the Star-Lord still has been a favorite on Stevenson University's end. They are going to lock in that Phoenix. Just too good. I mean, on any map, especially this one with the long sight lines that you can have from it. Especially when you're on that like first point right out of the spawn room trying to play on defense. The Bucky works so well, which I get why you'd want to lock it in. But I don't think we're going to see a universe where Boston University banned it per se, because even the Psylocke was doing some great value in the back line too. Rocket Raccoon, so you don't have to worry about the damage boost from that. But notably, Mantis has gone through unbanned so far. Do we see it from Boston University, or is it going to be available for triple strategists here on Stevenson? Nope, they are going to ban it. They do not want to see it whatsoever, and I get it.
You'll need a top-notch
removing that, but not removing the Loki is very interesting. I think Spider Islands, quite arguably, is his best map. There are so many wild and crazy Loki spots here with how you can throw the clones on the high ground. There's like random buildings, indestructible terrain, a lot of crazy stuff that can happen. And Loki becomes really, really tough to track down here. So I'm really interested to see if either one of these teams are going to use it or both of these teams are going to use it.
I think the big thing with Loki is that for MRC bans, if you are confident in your Loki play, you don't care if the other team is playing it right. But if you have Ignite bans, you have to make sure it's one-sided. You do not want it to just be available to your opponents. And typically we do see double Loki bans on that end in like the professional scene. Like, we saw so much of it this past weekend for the Mega Monthly. So we see the thing come out again. They know that they don't have to really save that on Boston University because it hasn't been a focus from Stevenson. Kitty Swag, though, on the ranked warrior here with the Hawkeye. I mean, people have been playing through the ladder have been realizing that those have been banned. That's great. Realizing you can't play the Hulk, so you're going to destroy the plushie. Oh, man. Sad times.
Unfortunate. But Boston University on the defensive here. Stevenson, like you said, Kitty Swag on the Hawkeye, the ranked warrior. Yeah, the bubble plus charge is pretty interesting. And Daft Malade is going to be subbing in for Boston University Red here. Maybe a different look as I say that, though. My bad. Sorry.
I mean, Daft probably was that Hulk player, which is why they went for the ban on that, right? Would have been a better option if you are subbing someone in who might be more of a focus on a specific hero to save that instead. But they went for the Dr. Daly Jeff save on the back end. I don't think we are going to see a Jeff ban either, so I don't know. Maybe trying to suss things out a bit, seeing that they've played it before, realizing that Jeff is annoying to play on this map because there's so many different ledges you can take the enemy team off of. So
yeah,
that could be part of the reasoning why they just want to make sure that they had that available to them. And yeah, you don't have the Deadpool team up, but neither of these teams seem to be as familiar. Hunter Sight, though, coming through for Kitty Swag, does get the elimination. And yeah, you can use it on the Loki clones as well, but it still makes it difficult for the other team. Visible boundaries slowing things down. So Jeff can't swim. Is going to get the shotgun blast.
Ooh, big eat potential here. As I say that, gets 3.
Huge.
I think he's going to take him to the edge. Goodbye.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, because they have invis, right?
Did the 360.
She can jump back. Yeah, I like that. 360, no scope, Jeff off the map. I'm putting that in my montage.
You know that they are as well. And that's probably why they wanted to go to this map, was for the Jeff specifically. So I like the combo that we're seeing from them too. Daft isn't doing too bad here on the Thing, and I think because Thing just has massive value, especially with the vulnerability leap that they can give onto an AoE of your opponent's. Clobbering time also good to stun and combo with anything else. Oh no, Jeff goes down, so they won't have one of their 3 strategies backing them up. Neither will them have the final judgment.
Oh,
Legends are wasted, and there's the dunk. Fakule takes out Vision.
Oh, Fakule faked him out too. He's like, nah, actually, I'm not going to go for you. Wait, you're right in my face. And he throws the Meteor M right onto Vision. Unfortunately, though, Kitty Swag is absolutely running a clinic right now. Just destroying Boston University.
Massive for Jeff Can't Swim here, though. Getting back into the fray. Unfortunately, they haven't been able to get a single elimination off of it, so a bit of a wasted ultimate. It does push them off the objective, at least for a little bit. Yeah, for the zoning, but I don't think that's really going to worry them too much. They still have a minute to go. They're trying to get that next objective. They have 2 ultimates in their bank. If they use the Meteor M, they could actually use it to initiate, but I think they're wanting to hold on to that just as a counter than anything else.
Yeah, especially to in your areas, you know, Cloak and Dagger ult that should be coming out pretty soon. Here comes the Eternal Bond. Fear Magneto in response. I don't know if they're going to be able to get the dunk. Unfortunately, tries to throw it onto the turret. Whiffs it, though, and Daft and the gang from Boston University take this team fight. Fakule swapping over to the Doctor Strange. Portaled back in, I believe, so they can contest this point.
Yeah, that's a smart thing to do. Like, just get back on the objective so that they can't really push forward. Getting them all the way back to their own spawn as well, so they can't even go for their own portal play either. So this is a huge change-up for Boston University. This was a great counter pick for them. It seems like this is their map to win. So Stevenson University, 10 seconds left for them to get onto the objective and hold things down. Daft has been the difference maker here on the Thing. They didn't have their main Thor, but it doesn't really matter. The Thing's even better, especially in this meta. Oh, no.
Oh, the eat?
Nah, they went through the portal in time.
Too little, too late. Jeff whips. Big Eye of Agamotto from Fakule, unfortunately, does not do anything. No follow-up, actually. And Stevenson University, during this overtime, are going to look to win this team fight. Although Squink has Invisible Barrier. So maybe... Whoa, the movement from Jeff!
That was cheeky, but unfortunately couldn't stay alive to touch point. So first objective does eventually go to Stevenson. A lot of time wasted, which is good for the side of Boston University. But it really comes down to how they're going to be using their ultimates here next. So waiting for the final judgment at some moment. They should know that the ultimates aren't available to Stevenson if they timed it properly, but they're probably worried about that Meteor M coming out.
Daft Malade, 10% on that clobbering time, just forcing this Psylocke out of the flank, doing his job, being the bodyguard for BU. And Jeff Can't Swim is going to pop that final judgment, hopefully maybe to confirm some eliminations. Acclamation just drops the Meteor M on him, while Kitty Swag is just going to solo ult Daft Malade. No, that's disrespectful.
Gets a double from it, too. This was a good change-up for Kitty Swag. We saw how effective the Psylocke was last time, and they didn't really have a counter against it, especially on Central Park. So I like the change-up here. A good change of pace, and sometimes that's what you need, you know. If one hero's not working for you, swap things up. Saw how it worked last time. Gets this flank, goes invisible, goes towards the back line, sees if they can get anyone, but actually dashes into the pole. Luckily for them, they didn't get taken out for it, so we'll have to back off, at least for now. Double invisible boundaries duel each other, and now we go toe-to-toe to see who's going to get the most effective ult off, and that was a great elimination onto Dart.
Yeah, really good maelstrom of Madness, and he's going to drop Eye of Ashanti. Only lands onto Fakule, though, and with Mr. In Your Area popping that Eternal Bond. Acclamation, unfortunately, did use that Meteor M to dunk Jeff Can't Swim. As I say that, though, he does go down. still a numbers advantage for Stevenson, but that Eternal Bond is proving very, very useful. Dr. Daly on this Jeff. Yeah, clobbering time. Maybe we can see Aya Bagamoto on top. Lands only onto Shoho, though. Does take down Kitty Swag in the process, though, with that Maelstrom of Madness. And Dr. Daly still has the Jeff ult on this overtime situation. Could prove the difference maker here.
I think it is going to be the difference. I don't think they have enough time to get back, especially with Vision just trying to get back all the way to their spawn to stay alive. But they have 10 seconds, and I don't think that's going to be enough for them to even get a portal off at the last moment. So this should be a full hold here unless Kitty Swag does something. But need to touch desperately. There is one last portal. The Jeff trying to see if they can get there in time. But the bubble was perfect to protect them, so the portal does still go off. They are able to get at least 2 members off the point and stall it for now. But the portal at least is going to get them to the objective.
Yeah, but with 2 members down, they're going into this as a 4v6.
Oh,
and
that's it.
Numbers are important. Dr. Daly, just like we had anticipated, that Jeff ult becoming so crucial. Mag ended up bubbling to Strange, but forgot to bubble himself.
Oh, that's so rough. Unfortunately, they just panicked at the end when they saw the circle of doom right underneath their noses, and they could not come up with a strategy in time. So that just goes to show why it's dangerous to play Doctor Strange just by themselves rather than saving them for the portal play, right? Because they had to waste so much time getting to the objective afterwards that it gave the Jeff enough of a setup buffer for them to go for the It's Jeff Eats. So a good look from Boston University Red to turn things around and hoping to extend this series in kind if they can keep it going. Stevenson University have their work cut out for them, but at least they have more of a buffer than they did last time, right? They looked like they were about to have things ended before that first checkpoint, and that would have been dire straits for them to stop things.
100% here, and this triple strat composition from Boston University is proving pretty tough to handle, and I think Kitty Swag is potentially going on to Strategist. I don't know if I like this, but he might be playing the Atom here. They might be going Loki, Cloak, and Atom, but guys, Kitty Swag, where are you?
That bird remembers everything. After you picked him clean.
Guess we'll see.
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2,
Adam Warlock, yep,
1.
like we were talking about before. So this is the strategy. Unfortunately, they do not have their movement yet, so it's going to take them a long time to get to the objective. So we'll see this push come through already from Boston University, and Kitty Swag could have been building up ult charge. Maybe just took a little bit too much time to figure out exactly what they want to use here on the hold.
Nice grab onto Fakule. Unfortunately, is able to just jump out there. Really good protection from Daft to go in with the Yancey Street charge as well as protecting their fellow Vanguard. I believe Kitty Swag is finally here, so it's a full 6v6, but I like this Punisher of different variation of breaking this 3-3 comp, and Mr. In Your Area does take down Shoho. Won't be able to TP back, so he's going to take the long walk back to point. Trades Daft Malade, though, and Aya Bagamoto already comes in from Fakule. Lands onto 3 on Stevenson University. That was a really fast eye.
Oh, and they noticed that nobody was playing Invisible Woman for some reason on the side of Stevenson, so that gave them free reign to use the Aya Bagamoto, especially with Shoho not even available on the point. So maybe not the best composition that they could have gone for when trying to go for a full hold here. And we kind of saw some awkward full hold comps from Stevenson last time, right? So it's just a tough spot to find themselves in. Some offbeat rotations onto the objective where Kitty Swag wasn't able to build up their ult like they wanted to. Portal does come through, though, from Vision to get them back onto the objective here, I believe. So they do have the Aya Bagamoto, but both them and Shoho are down. All of the ults getting popped here to get them back into the fight. We'll see if the turret can do anything just to keep that damage going.
I believe Daly actually ended up only taking out a Loki clone. Big clobbering time, though, from Daft Malade onto Stevenson University. Copy was used from Squink just to ensure the point capture here, but I don't think needed it. Jeff can't swim, ended up going down, so there's no duelist available for Boston University Red, but a lot of Stevenson has gone to the wayside. They're walking back here.
Oh, no.
I don't think they're going to be able to contest this point. Yeah,
the backline's completely gone, so Stevenson University drops another objective to Boston University Red, and it seems to just be their map. Like, They know this like the back of their hands, and it's one of the maps that's been around the longest in Marvel Rivals competitive. So it makes sense if you have a full strategy for it, go for it. And I like to see this from them. Goes to show why Boston University were able to get a win in a 3-0 sweep before. They don't want to go down in a sweep. Even if they can at least get a map against Stevenson, that's huge for them. But I'm really curious on what the next map potentially could be. Still sticking with the composition, though. Stevenson, Joe swapping, though, over to the Moon Knight. Might be a bit of a difference maker, but we do have the water gun bazookas coming through for the final judgment here by Jeff Can't Swim, sending them to swim with the fishes themselves, but didn't get the eliminations that they wanted. Ayabaga still going to get some big hits with it, and they need to have an invisible woman to counter it.
Yeah, the fact that they don't have it, popping that eternal bond here.
Too late.
Daly does fine. Yeah, it's way too late. And Sizzy, unfortunately, not able to copy Adam here. I think maybe they want to use the res. Instead, he's going to use the self-res. Shoho dropped that Moon Knight ult like you mentioned, but nobody has really dealt with Daphmalade, who is just running interference. Dr. Daly as well has the Jeff ult. Squink is going to copy the Eternal Bond.
The thing?
Yeah, Sizzy, I love that. Taking matters into his own hands, saying, you know what, I'll just be the DPS for my team. I'll be the Vanguard. I'll bring everything to the table. As we say that, though, greens do get used. Dr. Daly still has that Jeff ult, can use it to contest here. Maybe looking for another overtime eat so that his team can just secure the victory here.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised to see that happen. Kitty Swag, though, does have their revival available to them, but no other ultimates on the table now. So if they deal with Kitty Swag, they'll be in the clear to take this objective. Ayabagamoto comes flying. Finally, MP3 player realized that they would get more value blocking those Ayabagamotos than anything else. So that is 3. A massive eat from Dr. Daly sends them packing off the edge of the cliff, and this might be all that they need for the victory.
Yeah, that's everything. No res coming out from Kitty Swag here. Portal is not going to be fast enough, and Boston University,
huge.
Backs against the wall. They come in with the victory on their map pick, but that means we reset. Potentially domination, convergence, whatever. But Stevenson University gonna have to take a good, hard look at what they've been banning here. Maybe the Jeff deserves a ban. I also will say, I think you're completely right. Fukule got way too many Doctor Strange ultimates for them to not swap to Invis immediately.
Yeah.
Stevenson, their hard-headedness, in my opinion, being their downfall.
Yeah, they didn't swap soon enough. They were going for the full hold strategy after the first point, and that just doesn't work on most maps, unfortunately for them. So the triple strategist lineup did not work out as well as they wanted. So back to the books they go to figure out what they need to do for the victory. Domination could be their strong suit here. Who knows? I'm really curious on what they're going to focus on. Because we saw some sparks of brilliance, right, from Boston University in all maps, and some struggles from both them and Stevenson. So it hasn't been perfect play, which makes sense. This is Division 3, right? This isn't Division 1, where you typically see the highest level of competition. So some of these teams maybe come from just playing ranked a little bit, haven't scrimmed as much, and then realize, okay, this, and this we got to move on and work upon in the future. This is only week 2, right? Still a couple more weeks of competition until we get to those championships and the nationals themselves. So time to improve for these teams. But if you're Stevenson, you cannot afford to lose this series. You'll be down 0-2 to start off the semester, and that's not where you want to find yourselves in here for Marvel Rivals Collegiate.
Yeah, Stevenson up 2-0, and hopefully, praying that they don't get reverse swept on, because that's obviously mentality breaker. Maybe it was just a momentum swing for Boston University. Stevenson going to be able to come back on their map pick, but not after a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back very, very soon.
Welcome back, everyone, to NECC's Marvel Rivals Collegiate. I'm Vodible. We got Shibby here yet again, and we just saw Boston University Red take down Stevenson University to get at least one fight left in them, potentially. We'll see if they can go for the reverse sweep, though, and that's what they have to do in these last 2 maps if they want to come out on top and stay alive with a 2-0 series record, I guess you could say, for league play in, I think it's the Eastern Conference Division 3 matchups they are in. But Stevenson University, I think they took a little bit of a breather so that they could figure out what map they want to go to and focus down on the bans and protects that they need to go for, because unfortunately last time it didn't really work out for them. And Hala Jalia is going to be the one we go to this time. Okay, I like it.
convergence map for Stevenson University. They did.
Never mind.
It's not. I think it's burned into T'Challa.
Probably. Yeah.
It's probably burned into T'Challa.
Probably burned into T'Challa. It's all good. We knew what the production was putting down.
Yeah. I had figured it out. We predicted potentially it was going to be a domination map because Stevenson did look so good on it. And honestly, Boston University looked a little bit uncomfortable with the pacing of domination. I think that's the big thing, right? Their ultimate usage was a little bit off. It still kind of showed its head here, even on Spider Islands, where they would overinvest. You saw the Loki committing copies when it wasn't really needed. But because they had 3 strategist ultimates, committing one early or in a bad way didn't really affect them as much as it normally would.
I'm just curious what comps we're going to be seeing here. Angela probably still going to be banned, right? Angela's really good on this map. So I think if you're first banning, if you are Boston University, you focus on that again because you don't have to worry too much about that. Getting rid of the Angela gets rid of the Thor. We saw how effective the Thor was with the Angela before. And since the Angela has been banned, we haven't really seen that from the side of Stevenson University. So getting rid of 2 birds with 1 stone is massive in terms of the MRC bans because, again, it is universally banned. Something banned for everyone, something saved for everyone on that side. So I've been really liking kind of the back and forth we've been seeing between these 2 teams. But really goes to show, like, man, Daft must be really good on Hulk if they're already that good on Thing, right? And they focused on the Hulk over the Thing for the ban.
Yeah. Thing connoisseur, Hulk connoisseur, very respectable Vanguard player, fair Marvel rivals, some would say, but
a little biased.
If they're gonna, maybe just a little bit, just a tad bit. I don't like Emma. I'm an Emma hater. It's very, very publicly known.
Just a hero.
Just a hero. I actually think as a character in Marvel, like the universe, she's very, very complex and very, very interesting. I think her in the X-Men universe is really cool. But that's all another story that we can save for later. As we do get into the pick and bans, Boston University got to take the Gambit away immediately. Wonder if Stevenson is going to take the Jeff out or if they're going to opt in for something else.
That is a good question. I think the Jeff would be a smart ban on their side of things. Again, looking back to what they banned before, they were the ones who focused on the Gambit and then the Hulk last time. But this might be swapped then. I think this is swapped again because they would not ban their own Angela. So Boston University on left, Stevenson University on the right side. Shout out production. I mean, they swap sides so often it's hard to keep up with, honestly. But yeah, getting rid of the Angela, saving the Jeff, that is the way to go. And that's tough for Stevenson. Because they are on the B side, they don't have that option to, potentially let Gambit through and go for a different kind of ban. They're saving the hell of this time. The hell's been banned every single time. So I'm curious what the strategy is here. Maybe Hella Namor. If I was Boston University, I would ban the Namor this time. So Invisible Woman's going to be banned, so that does mean we will see a lot of Aya Agamottos, but because they didn't lock in the Star-Lord, they're banning the Star-Lord on the other side. So interesting back and forth between these two, but I feel like the Invisible Woman ban benefits Boston University more, Shibby.
Especially Fokule, right? Who's just getting massive Aya Agamottos.
Boston University is just winning in this ban phase. What is happening?
Ooh, there's the Hulk save. I'm excited. I love casting Hulk. It's probably one of the most fun heroes to look at. But it is going to be tough to play Hulk into potentially Hella Namor, the Bucky that gets saved. There's Emma is still on the board, right? Angela being removed is really good, but you've also got a multitude of other things. Like Hulk's biggest counter is just CC, crowd control in general. And unfortunately for Marvel rivals, there's a ton of crowd control in the game.
Oh, getting rid of the Luna Snow is massive. I think Luna Snow was like a huge difference maker in the strategist lineup for Boston University. So not having that on the table means that you get rid of 2 of the best strategists for Boston University. Cloak and Dagger, they're definitely going to lock in on having that available to them, and the Loki most likely with the Jeff, of course. But yeah, getting rid of the Mantis, they don't want that in the triple strategist, but that does mean Stevenson University gets Groot available to them if they want to use that to stay alive against the Jeff. Potentially could be solved for that as well. A couple different options. They have the Namor, Hella Namor team up if they go that option as well. So we haven't really seen a Namor from Stevenson University, though. Namor nowadays, because of the buffs recently, is still good by themselves. So maybe they just are used to playing it with the team up, and that's the only reason why we haven't seen it is because of Hella bans, but who knows?
Yeah, also Horn of Proteus, very, very good at countering Jeff. Like, I need to see something from Stevenson that says, hey, we are going to save this ultimate and this ultimate only for when Jeff ults. And every time he goes for our backline, I'm either dropping the Horn, I'm either going into the Goddess of Death. As we say that, though, Stevenson University, acclamation on the Magneto, Show-Ho, actually, on the Emma. And yeah, the two duelists that they ended up saving. Show-Ho.
Yeah. Like Ho-Oh? Like that, basically. I think that's what they're going for.
The two duelists, though, for Stevenson University, the ones that they saved or protected, are here. And I like the Cloak and Loki coming out from Stevenson, but Boston University, remember, the Rocket was banned out from Stevenson pretty consistently. It's the first time it's been let through. So now you get the Animal Crossing backline. Yeah, or Zootopia. Which one do you like calling it? I like calling it
because that is Disney.
There you go. It's Zootopia because it's Disney. Correct. And you get damage boosted Ensong Inferno, and you get Daphmalate on Hulk. I don't want to see this. I don't want to see this thing. Can I see Hulk? Spectate Hulk now.
You sound like a kid who's like wanting their favorite toy.
Yes. Thank you, Observer. Thank you. Appreciate you. I just want to see this guy go crazy because it was banned out. So I really want to see how he's going to navigate into this composition that is so CC forward, right? Emma, Thing. You've got Namor and Hela being put in as well. Kitty Swag actually opting away for the Bucky that they originally had intended to play.
Yeah, there's the Hela Namor that we were talking about before and why it's so effective. So unfortunately, Daft not able to get as much usage out of the Hulk because they're getting targeted so much. And there is the Horde of Proteus. There is the Trident coming through, a triple in favor of Kitty Swag. And that goes to show how lethal this combination is.
Oh, yeah, and Kitty Swag has arguably been the best performing member on Stevenson for multiple maps in a row.
Not even arguably. It's just a fact.
Yeah, never mind. I was trying to leave some ambiguity, you know, like, hey, maybe there's somebody else out there. But yeah, it has been Kitty Swag, and giving him something like Namor with the Hela Namor team up, very, very destructive. Although Boston University, 5 ultimates to their name, going to open up with Eternal Bond. No Meteor M on the side of Stevenson, so Sizzy is going to have to copy it. But Daft takes down Kitty in the back end, as well as Mr. In Your Area takes down Vision. So despite the copy from Sizzy, I guess just nobody was on the red carpet.
No, nobody was really in position for it. It's Jeff comes through, so both of the Vanguards from Stevenson University will go down here.
Oh, you
can! They can if they do it right on the edge like that, yeah. Unfortunately, the thing was not facing the right position, so they could have Yancey's to recharge backwards or even jump towards them, but they were just maybe in La La Land thinking that they might just go off the edge instead. So could have saved themselves. Unfortunately, couldn't at the right timing, though. Facing the wrong direction. But they have a lot of ultimates in their bank, so really comes down to how this next team fight goes if they can win this first point.
Ensong Inferno plus CYA available. That's a really big 1-2 combo. Clobbering time comes in, though. Lands onto Dr. Daly. Here comes the CYA. Daphne's going to go into monster form, and we're also going to get Jeff Can't Swim popping the Ensong Inferno, but I don't think it was damage boosted because he was behind the wall when he ulted. And this Monster Hulk also gets burned immediately into the Bruce Banner form. So it's going to allow Stevenson to push in because they've only got one Vanguard on the side of Boston University. Psionic Seduction lands onto multiple members. You've got to back away. So really good job from Stevenson to kite out those ultimates. Heavy investment from Boston University for virtually nothing.
They wanted to hold them at bay and knew that if they were going to, they had to give it their all there, right? Especially with the difference in percentage from the start. They got themselves a decent amount, 55%, but already you can see it being matched by Stevenson University. So we'll see what Boston University can do here. Eternal Bond available to them, Meteor M as well. Some good looks on the other side too. Double Eternal Bonds available for Stevenson. So they have some good counters. We'll maybe see Terror Cape used in tandem with... Oh man, the Horn of Proteus there, focusing on the Jeff on the backline, so they don't even have the It's Jeff available.
Oh, you're going to get dumped, friend.
Yep.
There's nowhere for you to run. Unfortunately, the Eternal Bond has to be used from MP3 player. I guess a bait from Sizzy, if anything. Although Dr. Daly does have Jeff ultimate. Big clobbering time from Acclamation lands onto multiple members here. Unfortunately, no follow-up once again. Fokule takes down Vision. Percent is still ticking for Stevenson, who's inching towards that 99 percentile. Ensong Inferno for Jeff Acclamation takes down Fukule. That's a big tank taken down here. Dr. Daly, though, does have the Jeff ult. Doesn't get anybody, eats the clone, so whiffs here, unfortunately. I don't know if Boston University have enough gas left in the tank to keep contesting.
Just a correction on our part, too. It's Snipes instead of Vision of Snipes. They like to go by that. But regardless, though, Stevenson University looked really solid. I mean, I think the big thing is the ultimate usage, right? That was their struggle in previous maps on knowing when to use this properly and then having the Hella Namor available, right? So it makes it so that the healing reduction is there and makes it easier to burst through heroes like Hulk, even when they go into the World Breaker Hulk form. So tough spot to be in for Daft. I feel like they were even doing better on the thing last go around. So
yeah, I didn't want to say it.
Swap over to it.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it. Looking a little tough on the Hulk. Maybe Stevenson University feared it for no reason. Maybe it was just like the aura, like, oh man, this guy plays Hulk. Be careful. But whiffed ults from Boston University. I think the Ensong Inferno plus CYA combo that was supposed to happen didn't go through, which would have won them that team fight where they took really early on in that tunnel. Daft as well on the Monster Hulk, unable to get any of the juggles or any of the thunderclaps. So now Stevenson University come into this next fight with a lot to work with. Snipes as well has not used the Goddess of Death once. And unfortunately, because Jeff can't swim, has Ensong Inferno, it's a true counter, right? You just run the Phoenix into Snipes' own ult, and then you land on the enemy team, and you potentially get some eliminations.
Yeah, a lot of value from the Ensong Inferno against the Goddess of Death there. So we'll see it come out eventually. I'm expecting another Horn of Proteus to try and get a combo going there as well. I mean, Kitty Swag has been monumental for the team, but Dr. Daly focusing them down at this time. CYA comes through for the extra damage. They don't even need to use any other ultimates for Boston University, but they're going to use the Ensong Inferno just for extra measure. Even the Cloak can't really do as much as they were wanting to, but still not enough damage for the pick, but does put all the passives onto them, the Sparks, so they can at least explode those for extra AoE and chip explosion damage against Stevenson University. Pushing them back in that early percentage, just a much better positioning for Boston University than we saw in the last point.
Ooh, Monster Hulk coming in. A lot of closed corridors for Daft here, but he's playing a little bit more conscientious, right? Not diving in completely, doesn't want to get burned out, is a big tank. Dr. Daly does end up swallowing Acclamation here. That's going to take them off of the map, I believe. Yeah, Acclamation not going to opt in for the Meteor M to get back on the point. And so far, Stevenson University going similar to that first domination map where they dominated round one into almost completely whiffing round two so far. Boston University 50% on the board here and counting.
Yeah, great usage of ultimates. I think too many ultimates have been held by Stevenson University and not used at the right timing again. So too cognizant of when they are using their ultimates this time for Stevenson University. And I think they're giving a lot of respect to BU Red in this moment. A good snipe on it to Jeff Can't Swim for the elimination. But there is the Cosmic Yarn Amplifier coming through. The Magneto can't do as much damage against it, unfortunately, there. So it's just going to stay up for the maximum amount of time.
Yeah, desperately trying to take it out here. Daft Malade, unfortunately, does get bursted out here. Nice Eternal Bond coming in from Stevenson to flip the point here, but interested to see what they're going to have in store when Mr. Jeff Kent Swing on this Phoenix pops the Ensong Inferno. Acclamation has been holding on to that Meteor M. I think this time around will try to dunk it onto Daly so he doesn't get ulted here. Shoho has been liked to commit these Psionic Vortexes a little bit early, wondering if they're going to try to combo it with this Goddess of Death here that Snipes has ready in the bank, about 4%.
Ooh, has to back off, though, completely. So a tough spot to find themselves in for Stevenson. The ultimates do come through. Eternal Bond, Meteor M is not going to be used, actually, to counter it out. So they're just going to let them have the walk for free. Rez comes through onto Jeff Can't Swim, so that Elim is a moot point.
There we go.
The It's Jeff, though, and it gets 3. Oh, but there's a great counter from the Horn of Proteus. I almost said Horn of Khonshu. It felt like a Hand of Khonshu of how deadly it was against the Jeff. That was a great counter.
Acclamation also used the Meteor M, so I don't know if they were communicating on what was being used. Daft Malade on the Monster Hulk, though. A lot of HP. 900 so far has been bursted down from his 15. Is causing destruction. Takes down Kitty Swag despite getting grabbed. Nice thunderclap. No TP available, and Stevenson University overcommitting ultimates for nothing.
Oh, as you say that, though, they do get an elimination on the Dr. Daly. Acclamation gets one as well, and they're quickly turning things around in their favor. What is happening for Boston University? They need to get the KO, onto the Hulk here. Daft, unfortunately, for the side of Stevenson, was able to stay alive the entire time and just push them off the objective. They C9'd it.
I think Stevenson is flubbing a little bit, whiffing potentially, as we do see a quick snapshot. Vision of Snipes 5 finals, Kitty Swag on the 10. Yeah, I mean, that's just a communication error. If you're going to counter Jeffel, going 2 for 1 is a better value play for Boston University. Sure, Jeff goes down, but no Meteor M, no Horn means that Stevenson University can take the ensuing fight or the next one with way more resources. I really confused on what Stevenson was doing there. Maybe Acclamation didn't know that Kitty Swag had the Horn of Proteus, or maybe Kitty Swag was building towards it and just dropped it at the last second. Definitely need to tighten that up, in my opinion, because if they play like that, Boston University will take us to a map 5, and the curse will continue for us, Vodible.
We shall see if the curse does continue, Shibby. The constant map 5s from last semester going into this one. But I think it just goes to show how close these two teams are, right? Neither of them playing perfect Marvel Rivals, as we like to say, but they are playing scrappy, and it makes it entertaining. I mean, it's great where you don't know for sure which team is going to come out on top, and on a dime, something can flip in favor of one squad or another. I mean, both those first 2 maps could have easily gone the way of Boston University, and we could have had a 3-0 sweep if 1 or 2 of the team fights went differently, and if Kitty Swag specifically didn't pop off the way that they did. So now we got to see what they can do here. If they're just going to continue to hold on to the Horn of Proteus the way that they have been. Great snipe onto Swink, but unfortunately for them, there is that res beacon.
And Daft Malade punching through the front line of Stevenson. The guy only knows W key. He's just jumping forward here. Big Ensong Inferno. Don't know if it needed to be committed, but does win Boston University that fight. I don't like this Horn of Proteus, but Kitty Swag seems to like these odds. Takes down 2. Maybe will allow Stevenson to come back here off the tempo play. Both strategists, Dr. Daly and Squink, are down, but I don't think Stevenson can move fast enough. Yeah, they can't move fast enough.
It was a cheeky play, but I don't think it gave them enough value, unfortunately, for the usage of it. If the rest of their team was in position to move forward, potentially, but they took too long, lagging behind. And also, yeah, maybe a Strange Portal would have been the play, but we just haven't seen that from these teams, using the Strange Portal aggressively like that. They've usually just been used towards overtime, where most teams are most comfortable with playing the Doctor Strange in that way. So unfortunately for them, they are catching these hands from Daft. They'll go into World Breaker form and is going to terrorize the back line. They can't do really anything to escape him as well. They have to pop the Eternal Bond just to stay alive. So all moving forward to the objective, but as they use the Eternal Bond, the It's Jeff is shielded. They'll take them off the map, and I don't think if you can easily deposit them there. Oh no, they still go out. They couldn't swap over to Cloak fast enough.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is why when you ult, you must ult in Cloak form, because then you can fade away any sort of counterattack. That is arguably one of the biggest mistakes that Cloak and Dagger players will make at any level, is that they will ult in their Dagger form and then just get absolutely blitzed, whether it's a, Ensong Inferno, whether it's a Jeff ultimate, a Magneto, a Meteor M, anything. Really tough for Stevenson University. They do have a bevy of ults to work with, but Boston University do have a good chunk themselves. CYA available along with the Ensong Inferno. It's really hard to mess that up, as it can get damage boosted. Grab onto the Hulk here. CYA comes in. Meteor M is damage boosted, mind you. Might be able to burst this guy down. Unfortunately, Bubble does come in for Stevenson University. But all the meanwhile, Vision of Snipes goes down. Sizzy takes down Jeff Can't Swim, so that's a duelist down for Boston University. The one they have, no res available. Kitty Swag's going to drop the Horn of Proteus, this time, unfortunately, unable to get anybody. All the meanwhile, Daft Malade is just punching through the rest of Stevenson, and with 3 strategists there to back him, he's just not going to go down. Big potential Jeff ult. Unfortunately, only swallows a teammate, so that's not really that good.
And unfortunately as well, on the side of Stevenson, Vision of Snipes, immediately their ultimate goes down and is bursted. So The value that we've seen from Stevenson in the ultimate has been a moot point. We haven't seen them be able to get any eliminations off of it recently, especially on this third capture point. Hope's gotten their ultimate so consistently. I think this is the second time in this team fight alone that they have gotten theirs, but it does get bursted completely down by that Sonic Seduction. That's the best one we have seen from Shoho, and yeah, forcing the reset, not want to get staggered. I respect that from Daphne on that play, but again, perfect Marvel Rivals have to be played by Stevenson, and Kitty Swag specifically needs to step up for this team. That's 2 Horned Produces in a row that really haven't given them much.
Has built up another one relatively quickly. Maybe that's an ultimate that Rivals needs to look at, because I don't know why. I feel like these Namors have been hitting it relatively good. And oh my god, he's dropping it onto all the strategists. Just takes down Dr. Daly. And unfortunately, the res comes in. Squeak does get res. Vision of Snipes takes down Fakule. And Sizzy copied the Eternal Bond, runs himself into a wall.
Oh, thankfully enough, though, that they weren't getting pushed by Boston University, so still earning them some time, but a lot of ultimates used just to get towards 50%. And yeah, as you mentioned, a bit of a waste. Does create some more space for them, of course, so maybe felt confident that way, and that MP3 player could build their ultimate fast enough, but looking on the other side of things, strategist ults are going to be one-sided for Boston University. Yeah, big elim onto Fakule, but I think it's also a moot point, right? There's still 40% have to be made up by Stevenson University. They need to win 2 more team fights at least to come out on top.
That's assuming a Strange Portal doesn't come into overtime. And Boston University, I think, know this. Dr. Daly building towards that Jeff ult. Fakule and Jeff both have Song Inferno and Meteor, and that's the combo that we need to see. Vision probably going to look to burn this Goddess of Death early, at least to buy some percentage, maybe force out the Song Inferno. Eternal Bond comes in for Squink. Acclamation a little too early, brother. Unfortunately, isn't able to take him down. Daft, in the meanwhile, does go down. There was no res beacon. That is a Vanguard down for Boston University Red. Eternal Bond coming in from MB3 player Fakule, and Song Inferno finally coming in, and unfortunately misses onto Vision of Snipes. Don't think it's going to do too much, though. Unfortunately, that Goddess of Death not able to confirm anything. Dr. Daly, in the meantime, took down MP3 player in the meantime. But this Boston University is falling to the wayside. Squeak has already swapped over to Dr. Strange and Stevenson University from 99.0%, by the way. They come in with the win and take the map.
And the series from that as well. Stevenson University out of nowhere take down BU Red. It felt like that third point was Boston University's, but it just seemed like the stagger was too much. There wasn't the res beacons in place that they needed, and unfortunately the synergy and the pressure was not there from Boston University. So Stevenson University, they get away with murder, it feels like, in this last point, and they will take the victory 3-1, but a hard-fought one at that.
Highway robbery. Stevenson University come away with a 3-1. Kitty Swag dropping 22 finals, doubling Vision of Snipes, their duelist duo counterpart, however you want to say. And, I mean, series MVP is for sure Kitty. It's no one else. It's unanimous.
It has to be, yeah.
Right? Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful play from Kitty Swag, showing the flexibility on a multitude of different duelists. Even opted in for the Thor at one point in map 1. Did really well on that. So, very well played to Stevenson University. Believe, Vodible, they've picked up their first win, according to you?
Yeah, both of them now 1-1, moving on to week number 3. So still a lot to make up for both these teams, but if this is how strong these two Div 3 teams are, I can't wait to see the other two that we'll be seeing after this. That's Grizz Maroon versus GCU Purple. It's going to be a pretty great one, Shibby.
Yeah, congratulations once again to Stevenson University. 3-1 victory over Boston University. Still a lot to learn. Bit of rough around the edges for both of these teams in terms of Marvel Rivals, but that's why we compete. That's why we play, and I love seeing these two teams. Like you said, I think scrappy was the best word used there. Very good description. But with that series concluding, we do have one more coming up in about 5 to 7 minutes as we get these two teams set up. So this time you can go grab a snack, go to the bathroom, do what you need to do, because we're going to go on a bit of a longer break, but come right back for Series 2 of the NECC Marvel Rivals Week 2 action.